Trevor. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on? Good. How are you?
Not bad. If you guys were able to get Evan back with the way Brenton has also been playing, how potent can that be to have a couple of tight ends in that regard? And then how will that then help you with taking more deep shots? Have those two guys underneath.
Yeah, no, it'll be great. Hopefully, but obviously been trying to work Evan back in and hopefully everything goes well this week and he's able to get out there, still early in the week now. There's still some time. So but yeah, I mean if he can go, obviously he's a huge part of our offense and hasn't been out there the last month or so. So we've definitely missed him and the type of player he is, you're always going to. So it'll be great to get him back involved. I think just all the things that he does well, obviously with the ball in his hands, down the field, his speed is a threat. Um, it'll really just one, getting him the ball will be great, but also, like you said, opening other people up. He's just another threat that you have to cover. And I thought, like I said, after the game and past few weeks, I've thought that Britton has done a great job filling in and making the plays that come his way. I thought he's done an awesome job. So just keep building off that. Luke too. I mean, we got a good room that's done a nice job. So we just got to keep building off that and get those guys going.
All right, thanks.
John Shipley, followed by Mark Long.
Trevor, what do you really see out of this Bears defense? Seems like all three levels of the defense, they have at least one guy who's like a top player at the position. I mean, what do you see about them and what kind of challenges you guys with them?
They're a good defense. I mean, you look at just from the number standpoint, since at some point last year up until now, I mean, they've been one of the top defenses in the league. I think it pops on tape just how they play, their effort, huge emphasis on, getting turnovers, getting their hands on the ball, whether that's punch outs, forcing fumbles, or, plays down the field and making plays on the ball. They all have great ball skills. I think that's one thing that definitely jumps off the tape. When a ball's near them, they're going to make the play and make it more times than not. So, I think that's something that they do really well. I think their scheme is also really good. They're disciplined, they're well coached, they're in the right spot. Then they have the guys that at times, take chances and make those plays when they read something, they recognize something, they understand what offenses are trying to do, and you can tell they're a smart group. So all those things they do a nice job. And up front, they're really physical, nice pass rush. They do a really good job with the D line. That's kind of where everything starts for any team. So obviously they've been good up front too.
And then last one for me, when you have guys like Travis and Tank, two guys who can do kind of different things and complement each other, how much does that kind of take the weight off of the offense in general, but even just for you, the quarterback specifically?
It's great. I think having some great running backs, we got three guys that can really go right now that have been playing for us, and they all are different. They all do certain things really well, and they really all can do it all too. Whenever they're called upon, they really can. So I think from that standpoint, it's great. And then now you've started to see Travis has been doing it for the last few years, but I think the more Tank's gotten comfortable in the system and himself, all those things, you see that confidence going up and those big plays starting to happen. So I think when you have backs that can create those explosive plays as an offense, that's huge because you know, if we get into the second and third levels, he's one broken tackle away from turning into, like you saw on Sunday, either huge run or a touchdown. So I think having backs that can do that, I mean, it's a huge threat for your explosive plays, and you're not having to get it all through the passing game or in chunks or whatever. You can break a run, inside the box, you can break it and go for 60. Like that's huge for any offense. And I think it's been great to see them get going as the season's gone on.
Thanks, Trevor.
Hey, Trevor, fourth trip to London. I think you won 3 out of 4 starts over there. How much more comfortable are you now making this trip than you were, obviously, year one or year two?
Yeah, I'm definitely comfortable. There's some uncomfortable things about it, just the nature of the time zones and the travel. And I think it's mostly just understanding that you're going to feel that when you first get there and kind of getting your body on track and being able to get on a nice sleep schedule early. Because that time change can get you if you're not careful. So just trying to push through that first day, get to bedtime without sleeping too much so you can get a full night's rest and kind of get back on track. I think that's one of the biggest things. But just having the experience of going over there, you kind of know how to handle, you know what to expect, you know how you're going to feel. You're going to feel a little sluggish, a little groggy once you get over there, but you'll settle in quick. And I think a big part of it too is getting a lot of your prep done while you're here. Obviously, there's going to be a few things to do over there to make sure we're ready to roll, but trying to do as much as you can here so that you can really just focus on your body and your sleep and getting ready to play on Sunday.
And was changing hotels last year, how big of an inconvenience was that for the players or barely noticeable? And are you looking forward to the fact that you have a 2-week stretch basically at the same place?
Definitely looking forward to being at the same place. I thought both places were good, and we made it work, obviously, and wasn't too big of an inconvenience, honestly. They all took care of us, so appreciative of that. But it'll be nice just to keep your stuff in one place for 10 days and not have to move after the first game and do all that. And you kind of get in a rhythm in a certain place, and whether it's the food or where the field is or just all the facilities, like you kind of like to get in a routine. So I think that'll be good having 2 weeks straight kind of at the same hotel.
Rock? D-Rock, are you ready?
Oh yeah, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. Hey
He's
Trevor,
patiently waiting
back,
his turn.
yeah, I was patiently. Sorry, waiting. Back at Clemson, you had T. Higgins and Justin Ross, two big, tall receivers, can go up and get the ball. Is that similar to what you have in Brian Thomas? I know Brian's a little bit faster than those two guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's the length for sure helps. I think that's just a bonus. There's a lot of other important traits when it comes to playing receiver, and speed's one of them. Understanding defenses, how to get open versus certain looks. I think all those things are as important, if not more important. But the extra length always helps. You can go up and get the contested passes. If the DB covers it well, you still have that extra length to go get it. So I think that just helps. But those three guys are really different in my mind of how they play and their style. But yeah, I think having the length on the outside really it does help for sure.
Can you elaborate on how maybe Brian's different from those guys? His style.
I think obviously, like you said, Brian's faster than those guys. I think T can run though. He's faster than you'd think. He's really smooth, but he's also big. Like T's a heavier guy. He's probably, I don't know how you guys. I'm sure you could look it up, but he looks like he's like 220 or something. Like he's a bigger guy, really physical. I do think see some similarities between Brian and T as far as like after the catch, breaking tackles, and just really slippery. Like that's something. And then Justin Ross was more of like you remember how Calvin is like can slam his foot in the ground and stop on a dime. Like that was Justin had that ability. That was a little bit different. And just as far as route running and being able to stop on a dime and stick and go the other way and turn DBs around, like that was kind of his thing. So they're all a little bit different, and Brian definitely runs routes a little different than those guys. But yeah.
Thanks.
JP? Oh, sorry. We'll go to Gene and then to JP.
Hey, Trevor. Last week, your offensive line played virtually a perfect game, kept you totally clean. What does that do as a game is going along? I'm sure you can sense when the protection is that good. What does that do for your psyche as a quarterback when you just kind of get the sense your O-line is on it that day?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a good feeling sitting back there. And I mean, this league, it's hard to protect that well every week. There's a lot of really good defensive players. D lines are really good for the most part across the league. So, you always expect to have to deal with a little bit of chaos in the pocket, just the nature of the game, especially when you throw the ball a lot. But I've always trusted those guys and leaned on them. And I think really they've done like I said after the game, a good job. Majority of the year, we've had some situations where we can communicate better on third downs, and we've learned a lot from the first few weeks of the season on just some scheme stuff up front, like that we want to do a little different. So I think that's been good. As far as just protecting and doing their job, I think those guys have done a nice job. And obviously Sunday, that was probably the cleanest pocket I've ever been a part of in the NFL. I mean, that doesn't happen much at all. Not getting hit, not getting sacked, but not even getting hit the whole game. So when you have one of those games, you settle in, you feel it early, you feel the space. It allows you to get through your progressions, to have confidence in getting backside without feeling like you got to get rid of the ball just to avoid a sack or to, avoid someone getting a hand on the ball in the pocket. All those things, when you have the time to go through your progressions, it just creates more windows down the field. It makes the defense cover for longer, allows you to take some shots. I mean, it really opens up a lot.
Thanks.
This will be the last one from JP.
Hey, Trevor, into the game, fourth quarter, I mean, the 3 and out had happened, and they score the quick touchdown to tie it. You guys come off the sideline after the defense had given up a couple scores there and obviously drove down the field for the field goal. What was the mindset in the huddle on the sideline there? was it kind of, hey, let's just get this done and get out of here? Or how did you guys go about the mindset to get that field goal drive going?
I thought offensively we did a really good job in the fourth quarter because I mean that was a crazy quarter, just back and forth, and we had some huge plays. And being up 14 with I guess 5 minutes or so left, a lot of times you feel like you start to relax and you feel comfortable and you're like, all right, this game kind of got it. But I thought we did a nice job of staying engaged, and obviously we were pumped and we had a lot of momentum, but just telling each other, hey, we're gonna have to go win it. Just be ready. Like, no, you don't know what's gonna happen. Obviously we have faith in our defense, but you just never know what's gonna happen. You can't ever check out of a game because it's the NFL and stuff like that happens every week. So I thought the offense did a really nice job of just talking and staying in it. Even the 3 and out, the defense made 2 good plays. They had 2 pass breakups where I felt like we had decent looks. And they made good plays. They get paid to do the same thing. So even in that drive, it wasn't like we just completely, stalled out, couldn't do anything. They just made 2 plays there. And once we got the ball back, we knew, as well as we had played on offense all day, we knew we had to go finish the game. And I thought that's what I said after the game. I thought it was really good that we had to go win it, just because offensively we kind of struggled early on this season. And it was good for our confidence, and just to go do it, to have the game in our hands and to be able to drive down the field, get a field goal, to go win the game. I think that was great for us. And it just shows you, like I said, you have to play a full 60 minutes, because what a shame it would be if you played a good, 55 minutes and then you get beat in the last 5 minutes. So I thought it was great for our team to have to do that.